I know that we have a consultant that helps us negotiate through these issues with our state relationships and has been very involved in this transportation issue. Would there be any value into consulting with him prior to sending anything or approving anything? And obviously this is an agenda request where we would have our letter and be able to come back next week prepared to discuss it. I'm assuming you feel this is worthy of a one-week
because the letter is dated August 23rd, and so I would consider it a matter that deems immediate attention by the board.
Well, he says that MDOT would be happy to discuss this further. It really doesn't strike me as a letter that invites a letter response. It's almost like...
I would only suggest that you read the letter and read the spirit of the letter.
Could we put it on is your question then, or is your motion?
And as I stated, I am requesting an open, an up or down response and vote on this request.
Do you want to do? Is your motion for this agenda request to do it today as an emergency or for next week on the agenda? It's an agenda request.
It's an agenda request, and I wanted to go through the formal request to place this before the entire board because, again, I believe a letter of this magnitude certainly warrants a response from the Board of County Commissioners. And I also understand the politics involved in the fact that the Board of Commissioners are not, in fact, exactly on the same page. But I think this letter, an attempt to address this, is a very respectful letter, and it certainly puts in consideration the fact that although we are not entirely on the same page with this, I deem it necessary for us to respond. Well, and I'm not close to the idea of going through the mediator or anything else if that's necessary.
Well, Commissioner Davis, let me just make sure. Let's get a clear understanding. We have an agenda request on the table. And this letter is associated with that agenda request.
No, let me attempt to make it a little smoother. I went through the agenda request process because I wanted this submitted for the board's consideration and approval. So I guess to attempt to make this motion tighter, I am requesting as a board that this letter be typed up, drafted, and submitted through staff and sent to the Secretary of Maryland's Department of Transportation. Okay. And because I believe it's of immediate concern and attention because the letter was dated August 23rd, I'm requesting that staff begin this process immediately.
Okay, so I want to be clear, and then Commissioner Davis is next. The agenda request is off the table. You have come in and made a motion that the board approve this letter to be drafted and sent to the Secretary.
Unless there's another means to make this request in front of the entire board and part of our public process.
Okay, well, let's stick with one thing at a time here. So right now we've got a letter and there's a motion to approve it and send it. Commissioner Davis, I know